Hi, good morning. How are y'all doing? I'm doing good. This morning I'm going to read from the book of Job, starting with chapter 10. So I hope this blesses you, as I know it will definitely bless me. So, the book of Job, chapter 10, verse 1. My soul is weary of my life. I will leave my complaint upon myself. I will speak in the bitterness of my soul. I will say unto God, do not condemn me. Show me wherefore thou contendest with me. It is good unto thee that thou shouldest oppress, that thou shouldest despise the work of thy hands, and shine upon the counsel of the wicked. Hast thou eyes of flesh, or seest thou as man seeth? Are they days as the days of man? Are the tears as man's days? That thou inquirest after mine iniquity, and searchest after my sin? Thou knowest that I am not wicked, and there is none that can deliver out of thine hand. Thine hands have made me, and fashioned me together round about. Yet thou dost destroy me. Remember, I beseech thee, that thou hast made me as the clay, and wilt thou bring me in the dust again? Hast thou not poured me out as milk, and girdled me like cheese? Thou hast clothed me in skin and flesh, and cast fenced me with bones and sinews. Sorry. Verse 12. Thou hast granted me life and favor, and thy visitation hath preserved my spirit. As these things hast thou hid in thine heart, I know that this is with thee. If I sin, then thou markest me, and thou wilt not acquit me from mine iniquity. If I be wicked, woe unto me, and if it be righteousness, yet will I not lift up my head. I am full of confusion. Therefore see thou mine affliction, for it increaseth. Thou huntest me as a fierce lion, and again thou shewest thyself marvelous upon me. Thou renewest thy witnesses against me, and increasest thine indignation upon me. Changes in war are against me. Wherefore then hast thou brought me forth out of the womb? How, oh, that I had given up the ghost, and no eye had seen me. I should have been as though I had not been. I should have been carried from the womb to the grave. Are not my days few? Cease then, and let me alone, that I may take comfort in little. Before I go, whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death. A land of darkness as darkness itself, and the shadow of death without any order, and where the light is as darkness. Chapter 12, verse 1. Then answered Zophar the Nethemite, and said, should not the multitude of words be answered, and should not a man full of talk be justified? Should thy lies make men hold their peace, and when thou mockest shall no man make thee ashamed? For thou hast said, my doctrine is pure, and I am clean in thine eyes. But oh, that God would speak and open his lips against thee, and that he would show thee the secrets of wisdom, and that they are double to that which is. Know therefore that God extracteth of thee less than thine iniquity deserveth. Canst thou be searched, find out God? Canst thou find out the Almighty unto perfection? It is as high as heaven. What canst thou do? Deeper than hell. What canst thou know? The measure therefore thereof is longer than the earth, and broader than the sea. If he cut off and shut up, or gather together, then who can hinder him? For he knoweth vain men, he seeketh wickedness also. Will he not then consider it? For vain men would be wise, though man be born like a wild ass's colt. If thou prepare thine heart, and stretch out thine hands toward him, if iniquity be in thine hand, put it far away, and let not wickedness dwell in thy tabernacles. For then shalt thou lift up thy face without spot. Yea, thou shalt be steadfast and shalt not fear, because thou shalt forget thy misery, and remember it is as waters that pass away. And thine age shall be clearer than the noonday, that shalt shine forth. Thou shalt be as the morning, and thou shalt be secure because there is a hope, yea, thou shalt dig about thee, and thou shalt take thy rest in safety. Also thou shalt lie down, and none shall make thee afraid. Yea, many shall make suit unto thee, but the eyes of the wicked shall fail, and they shall not escape, and their hope shall be as the giving up of the ghost. Chapter 12, verse 1. And Job answered and said, No doubt, but ye are the people, and wisdom shall die with you. But I have understanding as well as you. I am not inferior to you, yea, who knoweth not such things as these? I am as one mocked of his neighbor, who calleth upon God, and he answered him. The just upright man is laughed to scorn. He that is ready to sit with his feet as a lamp, despised in the thought of him that is at ease. The tabernacles of robbers prosper, and they that provoke God are secure into those whose hand God bringeth abundantly. But ask now the beasts, and they shall teach thee, and the fowls of the air, and they shall tell thee, or speak to the earth, and it shall teach thee. And the fishes of the sea shall declare unto thee. Who knoweth not in all these things that the hand of the Lord hath wrought this? In whose hand is the soul of every living thing, and the breath of all mankind? Does not the ear try words, and the word taste his meat? With the ancient is wisdom, and the length of days understanding. With him is wisdom and strength. He hath counsel and understanding. Behold, the breaketh down, and it cannot be built again. He shutteth up a man, and there can be no opening. Behold, he withholdeth the waters, and they dry up. Also he sendeth them out, and they overturn the earth. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his, and he leadeth his counsels away both, and maketh the judges fowls. He looseth the bond of kings, and riddeth the lions with a girdle. He leadeth princes away spoiled, and overthroweth the mighty. He removeth away the speech of the trusty, and taketh away the understanding of the aged. He poureth contempt upon princes, and weakeneth the strength of the mighty. He discovereth deep things out of the darkness, and bringeth out to the light of the shadow of death. He increaseth the nations, and destroyeth them. He enlarged the nations, and strengtheneth them again. He taketh away the heart of the chief of the people of the earth, and he causeth them to wander in a wilderness where there is no way. They are grouped in the dark without light, and he cometh them to the stranger like a drunken man, staggered like a drunken man. Chapter 13, verse 1. Lo, mine eye hath seen all this, mine ear hath heard and understood it. What you know, the same do I know. Also, I am not inferior unto you. Surely I would speak to the Almighty, and I desire to reason with thy God. But you are forgers of lies. You are all physicians of no value. Oh, that you would altogether hold your peace, and it should be your wisdom. Hear now my reasoning, and hearken unto the pleadings of my lips. Will you speak wickedly for God, and talk deceitfully for him? Will ye accept his person? Will ye contend for God? Is it good that he should search you out? Or is it one man mocketh another, do ye so mock him? He will surely reprove you, if he do secretly accept persons. Shall not his excellency make you afraid, and his dread excuse me, and his dread fall upon you? Your remembrances are like unto ashes, your bodies to bodies of clay. Hold your peace, let me alone, that I may speak, and let come on me that will. Wherefore do I take my flesh in my teeth, and put my life in mine hand? Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him, but I will maintain mine own ways before him. He also shall be my salvation, for an hypocrite shall not come before before him. Hear diligently my speech, and my declaration with your ears. Behold now, I have ordered my cause. I know that I shall be justified. Who is he that will plead with me? For now, if I hold my tongue, I shall give up the ghost. Only do not two things unto me. Then will I not hide myself from thee. Withdraw thine hand far from me, and let not thy dread make me afraid. Then call thou, and I will answer, or let me speak and answer thee, thou me. How many are mine excuse me. Verse 23, how many are mine iniquities and sins? Make me to know my transgressions and my sin. Wherefore hidest thou thy face and holdest me for thine enemy? Wilt thou break a leaf driven to and fro? And wilt thou pursue the dry stumble? For thou writest better things against me, and makest me to possess the iniquities of my youth. Thou puttest my feet also in the stocks, and lookest narrow unto all my paths. Thou settest a print upon the hills of my feet, and he is a rotten thing, consumeth as a garment that is moth eaten. Man that is born of a woman is of a few days and full of trouble. He cometh forth like a flower and is cut down. He fleeth also as a shadow and continueth not. And doth thou open thine eyes upon such an one, and bringest me unto judgment with thee? Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bonds that he cannot pass. Turn from him that he may rest, till he shall accomplish as inheriting this day. Till he shall accomplish as inheriting his day. For there is hope of a tree, if it be cut down, that it will sprout again, and that the tender branch therefore will not cease, though the root thereof wax old in the earth, and the stock thereof die in the ground. Yet though through the scent of water it will bud and bring forth boughs like a plant. But man dieth and wasteth away. Man giveth up the ghost, and where is he? As the waters fell from the sea, and the flood decayeth and drieth up, so man lieth down, and riseth not, till the heavens be no more. They shall not awake, nor be raised out of their sleep. O thou wouldest hide me in the grave, that thou wouldest keep me secret until the wrath be past, that thou wouldest appoint me a set time, and remember me. If a man die, shall he live again? All the days of my appointed time will I wait, till my change come. Thou shalt call, and I will answer thee. Thou wilt have a desire to the work of thine hands. For now thou numberest my steps. Dost thou not watch over my sin? My transgressions is sealed up in the bag, and thou sewest up mine iniquity. And surely the mountains falling cometh to naught, and the rock is removed out of his place. The waters where the stones, thou washest away the things which grow out of the dust of the earth, and thou destroyest the hope of man. Thou prevailest forever against him, and he passeth, thou changest his countenance, and sendest him away. His sons come to honor, and he knoweth it not, and they are brought low, but he preserveth it not of them. But his flesh upon him shall have pain, and his soul with him shall mourn. Chapter 15, verse 1. Then answereth Eliphaz, the Temanite, sorry, hard to pronounce the word sometimes. I apologize. And said, verse 2, should a wise man utter vain knowledge and fill his belly with the east wind? Should he reason with unprofitable talk, or with speeches wherewith he can do no good? Yea, thou castest up fear and restrain prayer before God, for thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of thy charity. Thine own mouth commendeth thee, and not I. Yea, thine own lips testify against thee. Art thou the first man that was born, or wast thou man before the hills? Hast thou heard the secret of God? Dost thou restrain wisdom to thyself? What knowest thou that we know not? What understandest thou which is not in us? With us are both the gray-headed and very aged man, much elder than thy father. Are they consolations of God shall with thee? Is there any secret thing with thee? Why doth thine heart carry thee away? And what do thy eyes wink at? That thou turnest thy spirit against God, and lettest such words go out of thy mouth? What is a man that he should be clean, and he which is born of women, and he should be righteous? Behold, he putteth no trust in his saints. Yea, the heavens are not clean in his sight. How much more abominable and filthy is a man which drinketh iniquity like water? I will show thee heareth me, and that which I have seen I will declare, which wise men have told from their fathers and have not hid it, unto whom alone the earth was given, and no stranger passed among them. The wicked man travelleth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. A dreadful sound is in the ears, and prosperity destroy shall come upon him. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waiting for of the sword. He wandereth abroad for bread, saying, Where is it? He knoweth that the days of wicked darkness is ready at his hand. Trouble and anguish shall make him afraid. They shall prevail against him as a king ready to do the battle. For he stretches out his hand against God, and strengtheneth himself against the Almighty. He runneth upon him, even on his neck, upon the thick bosses of his bucklers. Because he covered his face with his faintness, and maketh collops of fat on his flanks. And he dwelleth in desolate cities, and in houses which no man inhabiteth, which are ready to become heaps. He shall not be rich, neither shall his substance continue, neither shall he prolong the perfection thereof upon the earth. He shall not depart out of darkness, the flame shall dry up his branches, and by the breath of his mouth shall he go away. Let not him that is deceived trust in vanity, for vanity shall be his recompense. It shall be accomplished before his time, and his branch shall not be green. He shall shake off his unripe grape as the vine shall cast off his flower as the olive. For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate, and the fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. They conceive mischief, and bring forth vanity, and their belly prepareth deceit. Chapter 16, verse 1. Then Job answered and said, verse 2, I have heard many such things. Miserable comforters are ye all. Shall vain words have an end, or what emboldeth thee that thou answerest? I also could speak as you do. If your soul were in my soul stayed, I could heap up words against you and shake mine head at you, but I would strengthen you with my mouth, and the moving of my lips should assuage your grief. Though I speak my grief as not assuaged, and though I forbear that what I am eased, but now he hath made me weary. Thou hast made desolate all my company, and thou hast filled me with wrinkles, which is witness against me. And my leanness rising up in me bears witness to my face. He teareth me in his wrath, who hateth me. He gnaws upon me with his teeth. My enemy sharpeneth his eyes upon me. They have gaped upon me with their mouth. They have smitten me upon the cheek of reproachful. They have gathered themselves together against me. God hath delivered me to the ungodly, and turneth me over to the hands of the wicked. I was at ease, but he hath broken me asunder. He hath also taken me by my neck, and shaken me to pieces, and set me up for his mark. His archers compass me around upon the clivers. My reins asunder, and doth not spare. He poureth out my gall upon the ground. He breaketh me with breach upon breach. He runneth upon me like a giant. I have sewed sackcloth upon my skin, and defiled my horn in the dust. My face is foul with weeping, and my eyelids is the shallow of death. Not from any injustice in mine hands. Also my prayer is pure. O earth, cover not thou my blood, and let my cry have no place. Also now behold, my witness is in heaven, and my record is on high. My friends scorn me, but mine eye poureth out tears unto God. Oh, that one might plead for a man with God as a man pleaded for his neighbor. When a few years are come, then I shall go the way whence I shall not return. Chapter 17, verse 1. My breath is corrupt, my days are extinct, the graves are ready for me. Are there not mockers with me, and doth not mine eye continue in thy perfection? Lay down now, put me in a serenity with thee. Who is he that will strike hands with me? For thou hast hid their heart from understanding, Therefore shalt thou not exalt them. He that speaketh flattery to his friends, even the eyes of his children shall fail. He hath made also a byword of the people, and after time I was as tabard. Mine eyes also in dim my reason of sorrow, and all my members are as a shadow. Upright men shall be astonished at this, and the innocent shall stir up himself against the hypocrite. The righteous also shall hold on his way, and he that hath clean hands shall be stronger and stronger. But as if for you all, do ye return and come now? For I cannot find one wise man among you. My days are past, my purposes are broken off, even the thoughts of my heart. They change the night into day, the light is short because of darkness. If I wait, the grave is mine house. I have made my bed in the darkness. I have said to corruption, Thou art my father, to the sworn, Thou art my mother and my sister. And where is now my hope? As for my hope, who shall see it? They shall go down to the bars of the pit when our rest together is in the dust. Chapter 18, verse 1. They answered Bildad the Shulamite and said, How long will it be ere ye make an end of the worst? Mark, and afterwards we will speak. Wherefore are we counted as beasts and reputed vile in their sight? He teareth himself in his anger, and shall the earth be forsaken for thee? And shall the rock be removed out of his place? Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. Steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast in a net by his own feet, and he walked upon a snare. The gin shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. It shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength, and his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and shall bring him to the king of terrors. It shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is not of his brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. His roots shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branch be cut off. Verse 17, his remnant shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. He shall be driven from light to darkness and chastened out of the world. He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. They that cometh after him shall be astonished. Shall be astonished as his day, as they that went before were affrighted. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, and this is the place of him that knoweth not God. Chapter 19, verse 1. Then Job answered and said, How long will ye vex my soul and break me in pieces with words? These 10 times have ye reproached me. Ye are not ashamed that ye make yourself strange to me, and be it indeed that I have erred mine error, and made myself. If indeed ye will magnify yourselves against me, and plead against me my reproach, know not that God hath overthrown me, and hath compassed me with his net. Behold, I cry out of wrong, but I am not heard. I cry aloud, but there is no judgment. He hath fenced up my way that I cannot pass, and he hath set darkness in my path. He hath stripped me of my glory. He hath taken his crown from my head. He hath destroyed me on every side. I am gone, and my hope hath he removed like a tree. He hath also kindled his wrath against me, and he crowneth me unto him as one of his enemies. His troops come together and raise up their way against me, and encamp around my tabernacle. About my tabernacle. He hath put my brethren far from me, and mine acquaintance are very estranged from me. My kinfolk have failed, and my familiar friends have forgotten me. They that dwell in mine house and my maids count me for a stranger. I am an alien in their sight. I called my servant, and he gave me no answer. I entreated him with my mouth. My breath is strange to my wife, though I entreated for the children's sake of mine own body. Yea, young children despised me. I rose, and they spake against me. All and my inward friends adored me, and thy whom I loved are turned against me. My bone cleaveth to my skin, and to my flesh, and I am escaped with the skin of my teeth. Have pity upon me, have pity upon me, O ye my friends, for the hand of God hath touched me. Why do ye persecute me as God, and are not satisfied with my flesh? Oh, that my words were now written, oh, they that were printed in a book, that they were graven with an iron pen and laid in the rock forever. For I know that my Redeemer liveth, and that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth. And though after my skin worms destroy his body, yet in my flesh shall I see God, whom I shall see for myself, and mine eyes shall behold, and not another, though my reins be consumed within me. But you should say, why persecute we him, seeing the root of the matter is found in me? Be ye afraid of the sword, for the wrath bringeth the punishment of the sword, that ye may know there is a judgment. Chapter 20, verse 1. Then answered Sophia the Nemathite, and said, therefore do my thoughts cause me to answer, and for this I make haste. Verse 3. I have heard of the check of my reproach, in the spirit of my understanding causes me to answer. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? Thou his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his hand reach unto the clouds. Yet he shall perish forever like this own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. I also, which saw him, shall see him no more. Neither shall his place any more behold him. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore the goods. His bones are full of sin in his youth, which shall lie down with him in his dust. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat and his bowels is turned. It is the gall of apes within him. He hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. God shall cast him out of his belly. He shall suck the poison of apes. The viper's tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, or the brooks of honey and butter. That which he laboureth for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it. Down according to his substance shall the restriction be, and he shall not rejoice therein, because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he built not. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desireth. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in his traits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body. Yea, the girding sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. All darkness shall be hid in his secret place. The fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. The heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is a portion of a wicked man from God, and a heritage appointed unto him by God. Chapter 21, verse 1. But Job answered and said, hear diligently my speech, and let this be your consolutions. Suffer me that I may speak, and after that I have spoken. Mock on, as for me is my complaint to man. And if there were so Why should not my spirit be troubled? Mark me and be astonished, and lay your hand upon your mouth, even when I remember I am afraid, and trembling taken hold on my flesh. Wherefore do the wicked live? Become old? Yea, are mighty in power. The seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear, and neither is the rod of God upon them. Their bull gendereth, their faileth not, their cow claveth, and it casteth not her calf. They send from forth their little ones, their flock, and their children dance. They take the timbrel and harp, and rejoice at the sound of the organ. They spend their days in the wrath, and in a moment go down to the grave. Therefore they say unto God, Depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of the ways. What is the Almighty, that we should serve him? And what profit should we have if we pray unto him? Lo, their good is not in their hand. The counsel of the wicked is far from me. How oft is the candle of the wicked put out? And how often cometh their destruction upon them? God distribueth sorrows in his anger. They are as stumble before the wind, as chaff as a storm carrieth away. God layeth upon his iniquity for his children. He rewardeth him, and he shall know it. His eyes shall see his destruction, and he shall drink of the wrath of the Almighty. For what pleasure hath he in his house after him, when the number of his months is cut off in mist? Shall any teach God acknowledging, seeing he judgeth those that are high? One dieth in his full strength, being wholly at ease and quiet. His breasts are full of milk, and his bones are moist with marrow. And another dieth in the bitterness of his soul, and neither eateth with pleasure. They shall lie down alike in the dust, and the worm shall cover them. Behold, I know your thoughts, and the devices which are wrongfully imagined against me. For ye say, Where is this house of thy prince, and where are the dwelling places of the wicked? Have ye not asked them that go by the way, and do ye not know their tokens, that the wickedness is reserved to the day of their destruction? They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. Who shall declare his ways to his face, and who shall repay him what he hath done? Yet shall he be brought to the grave, and shall remain in the tomb. The clouds of the valley shall be sweet unto him, and every man shall draw after him, as they are innumerable before him. Verse 34. And how then comfort ye men in vain, seeing in your answers there remaineth falsehood? Chapter 22, verse 1. Then Eliphaz and Teman answered and said, Can a man be profitable unto God, as he that is wise may be profitable unto himself? Is any pleasure to the Almighty that thou art righteous, or is it a gain to him that thou makest thy ways perfect? Will he reprove thee for fear of thee? Verse 4. Will he reprove thee for fear of thee? Will he enter with thee into judgment? Is not thy wickedness great, and thy iniquities infinite? For thou hast taken a pledge from thy brother for naught, and striped the naked of their clothing. Thou hast not given water to the weary to drink, and thou hast withholden bread from the hungry. But as for the mighty man, he hath the earth, and the honorable man dwelleth in it. Thou hast sent windows away empty, and the arms of the fatherless have been broken. Therefore snares are round about thee, and sudden fear troubleth thee. O darkness, thou hast cast not. See, an abundance of waters cover thee. Is not God in the height of heaven? And behold, in the height of the stars, how high they are? And thou sayest, How doth God know? Can he judge through the dark clouds? The clouds are a covering to him that he seeth not, and he walketh in the circuit of heaven. Hast thou marked the old way, which wicked men have trodden, which were cut down out of time, whose foundation was overflown with a flood? Which said unto God, Depart from us, and what can the Almighty do for them? Yet he filled their houses with good things, but the counsel of the wicked is far from me. The righteous hid, and are glad, and innocent laugh them to scorn, whereas our substance is not cut down, but the remnant of them our fire consumeth. Acquainted not thyself with him, and be at peace, thereby good shall come unto thee. Receive, I pray thee, the law from his mouth, and lay up his words in thine heart. If thou return to the Almighty, thou shalt be built up, thou shalt put away iniquity far from the tabernacles. Then shalt thou lay up gold as dust, and the gold of fire, as the stones in the brooks. Yea, the Almighty shall be thy defense, and thou shalt have plenty of silver. For then shalt thou have thy delight in the Almighty, and shalt lift up thy face unto God. Thou shalt make thy prayer unto him, and he shall hear thee, and thou shalt pay thy vows. Thou shalt also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and the light shall shine upon thy ways. When men are cast down, then thou shalt say, there is lifting up, and he shall save the humble person. He shall deliver the island of the innocent, and it is delivered by the pureness of thine hands. Pureness of thy hands. Chapter 23, verse 1. Then Jacob, got ahead of myself. I apologize. Chapter 23, verse 1. Then Job answered and said, even today is my complaint bitter. My stroke is heavier than my groaning. Oh, that I knew where I might find him, that I might come even to his seat. I would order my cause before him and fill my mouth with arguments. I would know the words which he would answer me, and understand what he would say unto me. Would he plead against me with his great power? No, but he would put strength in me. There the righteous might dispute with him, so should I be delivered forever from my judge. Behold, I go forward, but he is not there, and backward, but I cannot perceive him. On the left hand, where he doth work, but I cannot behold him. He hideth himself on the right hand, that I cannot see him. But he knoweth the way that I take. When he hath tried me, I shall come forth as gold. My foot hath held his steps, and his way have I kept and not declined. Neither have I gone back from the commandment of his lips. I have established. Verse 3. Oh, that I knew where I might find him, that I might come even to his seat. I would order my cause before him, and fill my mouth with arguments. I would know the words which he would answer me, and understand what he would say unto me. Will he plead against me with his great power? No, but he would put strength in me. There the righteous might dispute with him. So should I be delivered forever from my judge? Before I go forward, but he is not there, and backward, but I cannot perceive him. On the left hand, where he doth work, but I cannot behold him. He hideth himself on the right hand, that I cannot see him. But he knoweth the way that I take. When he hath tried me, I shall come forth as gold. My foot hath held his steps. His way have I kept, and not declined. Neither have I gone back from the commandment of his lips. I have esteemed the words of his mouth more than my necessary food. But he is in one mind, and who can turn him? And what his soul desireth, even that he doth. For the performeth the thing that is appointed for me, and many such things are with him. Therefore am I troubled at his presence when I consider I am afraid of him. Excuse me. For God maketh my heart soft, and the Almighty troubleth me, because I was not cut off before the darkness, neither had covered the darkness from my face. Chapter 24, verse 1. Why, seeing times are not hidden from the Almighty, do they that know him not see these days? Some remove their landmarks, they violently take away flocks and feed thereof. They drive away the asses of the fatherless, they take the widow's ox for a pledge, they turn the needy out of the way, the poor of the earth hide themselves together. Behold, a wild asses in the desert, go thou forth to thy work, rising betimes for the prey, and wilderness yieldeth food for them and for their children. They reap every one his corn in the field, and they gather the vintage of the wicked. They cause the naked to lounge without clothing, and they have no covering in the cold. They are wet with the flowers of the mountains, and embrace the rocks for want of shelter. They pluck the feathers from the breast and take a pledge of the poor. They cause them to go naked with our clothing, and they take away the sheep from the hungry, which might make oil with them their walls, and treat their wine presses, and suffer thirst. Men groan from out of the city, and a soul in the wounded crieth out. Yet God layeth not follow to them. They are those that rebel against the light. They know not the ways thereof, nor abide in the paths thereof. The murderer rising from the light killeth the poor and needy, and the night is a thief. The eye also of the adulterer waiteth for the twilight, saying, no eye shall see me, and disguises his face. In the dark they dig through houses which they had marked for themselves. In the daytime they know not the light, for the morning is to them even as a shadow of death. If one know them, they are in the terrors of the shadow of death. He is swift as the waters, there his portion is cursed in the earth. He beholdeth not the way of the vineyards, drought and heat consume the snow waters, so doth the grave those which have sinned. The womb shall forget him, the worm shall feed sweetly in him. He shall be no more remembered, and wickedness shall be broken as a tree. He evil entreateth the barren that beareth not, and doeth not good to the widow. He draweth also the mighty with his power. He rises up, and no man is sure of life. Though it be given him to be in safety whereon he resteth, yet his eyes are upon the ways. They are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. They are taken out of the way as all the other, and cut off as the tops of the ears of corn. And if it be not so now, who will make me a liar, and make me speech nothing worth? Chapter 25, verse 1. Then answered Bildad the Shulamite, and said, dominion or fear are with him. He maketh peace in his high places. Is there any number of his armies? And upon whom doth not his light rise? How then can man be justified with God? How can he be clean that is born of a woman? Behold, even to the moon, and it shineth not. Yea, the stars are not pure in his sight. How much less man that is a worm, and the son of a man which is a worm? Chapter 26, verse 1. But Job answered and said, how hast thou helped me, that is without power? How savest thou the arm that hath no strength? How hast thou concealed him that hath no wisdom? And how hast thou plentifully declared the thing it is? To whom hast thou uttered words, and whose spirit came from thee? Dead things are formed from under the waters, and the inhabitants thereof. Hell is naked before him, and destruction hath no covering. He stretcheth out the north over the empty place and strength, and hangeth the earth upon nothing. He biteth up the waters in his thick clouds, and the cloud is not rent under them. He holdeth back the face of his throne, and spreadeth his cloud upon it. He hath compassed the waters with bounds until the day and night come to an end. The pillars of heaven trembled and are astonished at his reproof. He delivered the sea with his power, and by his understanding he smitteth through the proud. By his spirit he hath garnished the heavens. His hands have formed the crooked serpent. Lo, these are parts of his ways, but how little a portion is heard of him. But the thunder of his power who can understand? Chapter 27, verse 1. Moreover, Job continued his parable and said, as God liveth, who hath taken away my judgment, and the Almighty, who hath vexed my soul, all the while my breath is in me, and the Spirit of God is in my nostrils. My lips shall not speak wickedness, nor my tongue after utter deceit. God forbid that I should justify you till I die. I will not remove my integrity from me. My righteousness I hold fast, and will not let go. My heart shall not reproach me so long as I live. Let my enemy be as the wicked, and he that rises up against me is the unrighteousness. For what is the hope of thy hypocrite, though he hath gained when God taketh away his soul. Will God hear his cry when trouble is coming upon him? Will he delight himself in the Almighty? Will he always call upon God? I will teach you by the hand of God that which is worth the Almighty will I not conceal. Behold, all ye yourselves have seen it. Why then are ye thus altogether vain? This is the portion of wicked man with God, and the heritage of professors which they shall receive of the Almighty. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widow shall not weep. Though he heap up silver as the dust, and prepare raiment as the clay, he may prepare it, but the dust shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver. He buildeth his house as a moth, and as a booth that the keeper maketh. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He openeth his eyes, and he is not. Terrors take hold on him as waters. A tempest stealeth him away in the night. The east wind carrieth him away, and he departeth as a storm hurleth him out of his place. For God shall cast upon him and not spare. He would fain flee out of his hand. Men shall clap their hands at him and shall hiss him out of his place. Chapter 28, verse 1. Surely there is a vein for the silver and a place for gold, where they find it. Iron is taken out of the earth, and brass is melted out of the stone. He setteth an end to darkness, and searcheth out of the perfection the stones of darkness and the shadow of death. The flood breaketh out from the inhabitant, even the waters forgotten of the foot. They are dried up, they are gone away from men. As for the earth, out of the cometh bread, and under it turned up as it were fire. The stones of it are place of sapphires, and it hath dust of gold. There is a path which no fowl knoweth, and which his vulture's eye hath not seen. The lion's weeps have not trodden it, nor the fierce lion passed by it. He putteth forth his hand upon the rock, he overturneth the mountains by the roots. He cutteth out rivers among the rocks, and his eyes seeth every precious thing. He bindeth the floods from overflowing, and the thing that is hid bringeth he forth to light. But where shall wisdom be found, and where is the place of understanding? Man knoweth not the price thereof, neither is it found in the land of the living. The death said, it is not in me, and the sea said, it is not with me. It cannot be gotten for gold, neither shall silver be weighed for the price thereof. It cannot be valued with the gold of a fire, and with the precious onyx or the sapphire. The gold and the crystal cannot equal it, and the exchange of it shall not be for jewelries of the fine gold. No mention shall be made of coral or of the pearls, for the price of wisdom is above rubies. Though the topaz of Ethiopia, shall not equal it, neither shall it be valued with pure gold. Whence then cometh wisdom, and where is the place of understanding? Seeing it is hid from the eye of all living, and kept close from the fowls of the air. Destruction and death say, we have heard the fame thereof with our ears. God understandeth the way thereof, and he knoweth the place thereof. For he looketh to the ends of the earth, and seeth under the whole heaven, to make the weight for the winds, and he weigheth the waters by measure. When he made a decree for the rain, and a way for the lightning of the thunder, then did he see it, and declare it. He prepared it, yea, and searched it out. And unto man he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is a wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. Chapter 21, verse 1. Moreover, Job continued his parable and said, Oh, that I were as in months past, as in days when God preserved me, when his candle shined upon my head, and when by his light I walked through darkness, as I was in the days of my youth, when the secret of God was upon my tabernacle, when the Almighty was yet with me, when my children were about me, when I washed my steps with butter, and the rock poured me out rivers of oil, when I went out to the gate through the city, when I prepared my seat in the street, The young men saw me and hid themselves, and the aged rose and stood up. The young men saw me and hid themselves, and the aged rose and stood up. The prince refrained talking and laid their hand on their mouth. The nobles held their peace, and their tongue cleaved to the roof of their mouth. When the ear heard me, then it blessed me, and when the eye saw me, it gave witness to me, because I delivered the poor that cried, and the fatherless, and him that had none to help him. The blessing of him that was ready to perish came upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. I put on righteousness, and it clothed me. My judgment was as a robe and a diadem. Verse 15. I was eyes to the blind, on feet was I to the lame. I was a father to the poor, and the cause which I knew not I searched out. I'll break the jaws of the wicked, and pluck the spoil out of the teeth. Then I said, I shall die in my nest, and I shall multiply my days at the said. My root was spread out by the waters, and the dew lay all night upon my branch. My glory was fresh in me, and my bough was renewed in my hand. Unto me men gave ear, and waited, and kept silence in my counsel. After my words they spoke not again, and my speech dropped upon them. And they waited for me as for the rain, and they opened their mouth wide as for the later rain. If I laughed on them, they believed it not, and the light of my countenance they cast not down. I chose out their way, and set chief, and dwelt as a king in the army, as one that comforteth the mourners. Chapter 30, verse 1. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished? For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by their bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Among the bushes they braved, under the nettles they have gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were valor than the earth, and now am I their song? Yea, I am their byword, their harbor me. They flee far from me, and spare not the spirit in my face, because he hath loosened my cord and afflicted me. They have also let loose the bridle before me. Upon my right hand rise the youth. They push away my feet, and they rise up against me. The waves of their destruction, they mar my path. They set forward my calamity. They have no helper. They came upon me as a wide breaking in the waters. In the dissolution they rolled themselves upon me. Terrors are turned upon me. They pursue my soul as a wind, and my welfare passes away as a cloud. And now my soul is poured out upon me. The days of affliction have taken hold upon me. My bones are pierced in me in the night season, and my sinews have taken hold upon me. My bones are pierced in me in the night season, and my sinews take no rest. Verse 18, by the great force of my disease is my garment changed, and bindeth me about as the collar of my coat. He hath cast me into the mire, and I am become like the dust and ashes. I cry unto thee, and thou dost not hear me. I stand up, and thou regardest me not. Thou art become cruel to me. With thy strong hand thou opposest thyself against me. Thou liftest me up to the wind. Thou castest me to the right upon it, and thou devourest my substance. For I know that thou wilt bring me to death, and to the house appointed for all living. Howbeit he will not stretch out his hand to the grave, though they cry in his destruction. Did not I weep for him that was in trouble? Was not my soul grieved for the poor? When I looked for good, then evil came unto me. And when I waited for light, there came darkness. My bowels boiled and rested not. The days of affliction prevented me. I went mourning without the sun. I stood up and I cried in the congregation. I am a brother to dragons and a companion to owls. My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat. My harp also is turned to mourning, and my organ into the voice of them that weep. Chapter 31, verse 1. I made a covenant with mine eyes. Why then should I think upon a maid? For what portion of God is there from above, and what hindrance of thee, Almighty, from one on high? Is not destruction to the wicked, and a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity? Does not he see my ways and count all my steps? If I have walked with vanity, or if my foot hath hasted to deceit, let me be weighed in an even balance, that God may know mine integrity. Verse 6. Let me be weighed in an even balance, that God may know mine integrity. If my step hath turned out of the way, and mine heart walketh after me, eyes, and if any blot hath cleaved to my hands, then let me sow, and let another eat. Yea, let my offspring be rooted out. If mine heart have been deceived by a woman, or if I have laid wait at my neighbor's door, then let my wife grin unto another, and let others bow down upon her. For this is an heinous crime, yea, it is iniquity to be punished by the judges. For it is fire that consumeth to destruction, and would root out all mine increase. If I did despise the cause of my manservant, or of my maidservant, when they contended with me, what then shall I do with God? I do when God rises up, and when he visited, what shall I answer him? Did not he that made me in the womb make him? And did not one fashion us in the womb? If I have withheld the poor from their desire, or have caused their eyes of the widow to fail, or have eaten my morsel myself alone, and if fatherless hath not eaten thereof, for from my youth he was brought up with me as with a father, and I have guided the herder from my mother's womb. If I have seen any perish for want of clothing, or any poor without covering, if his loins have not blessed me, and if he were not warmed with the fleece of my sheep, if I have lifted up my hand against thy fatherless, when I saw my help in the gate, then let mine arm fall from my shoulder blade, and mine arm be broken from the bone. For destruction from God was a terror to me, and by reason of his highness I could not endure. If I have made gold my hope, or have said to thy fine gold, thou art my confidence, if I rejoice because my wealth was great, and because mine hand hath gotten much, if I beheld the sun when it was shined, or the moon walketh in her brightness, and my heart hath seen, secretly enticed, and my mouth hath kissed my hand, this also were in iniquity to be punished by the judge, for I should have denied the God that is above. If I rejoice at the destruction of him that hateth me. Sorry, my dog barked. Verse 27. And my heart hath been secretly enticed, or my mouth hath kissed my hand. This were in iniquity to be punished by the judge, for I should have denied the God that is above. If I rejoice at the destruction of him that hateth me, or lifted up myself when evil found him, neither have I suffered my mouth to sin by wishing a curse to his soul. If the man of my tabernacle has said not, oh, that we had of his flesh, we cannot be satisfied. The stranger did not lodge in the street, but I opened my doors to the traveler. If I covered my transgressions as Adam, by hiding my iniquity in my bosom, did I fear a great multitude, or did the contentment of families terrify me, that I kept silence and went not out of the door? Oh, that one would hear me. Behold, my desire is... That's my cat. Verse 30. neither have I suffered my mouth to sin by wishing a curse to his soul. If the men of the tabernacle said not, oh, that we had of his flesh, we cannot be satisfied. The stranger did not lodge in the street, but I opened my doors to the traveler. If I covered my transgressions, as Adam, hiding my iniquity in my bosom, did I fear a great multitude, or did the contentment of families verify me that I kept silence and went not out of the door? Oh, that one would hear me. Behold, my desire is that the Almighty would answer me, and that mine adversary had written a book. Surely I would take it upon my shoulder and bind it as a crown to me. I would declare it unto him. The number of my steps as a prince would I go near unto him. If my land cry against me, or that the Pharaohs likewise thereof complain, if I have eaten the fruits thereof without money, or have caused the owners thereof to lose our faith, let thistles grow instead of wheat, and cockle instead of barley. The words of Job are ended. Chapter 32, verse 1. So these three men ceased to answer Job, because he was righteous in his own eyes. Then was kindled to the wrath of Elihu, the son of Barachel, and Buzite, of the kindred of Ram against Job was his wrath kindled, because he justified himself rather than God. Also against his three friends was his wrath kindled, because they had found no answer, and yet had condemned Job. Now E-Li-Hu had waited till Job had spoken, because they were elder than he. That's verse 4. Verse 5, when Elihu saw that there was no answer in the mouth of these three men, and his wrath was kindled, and Elihu, the son of Barachel, the Buzite, answered and said, I am young, and ye are very old. Wherefore I was afraid, and durst not shew you mine opinion. I said, days should speak, and multitude of years should teach wisdom. But there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding. Great men are not always wise, neither do the aged understand judgment. Therefore I said, hearken to me, I also will shew mine opinion. Behold, I waited for your words, I gave ear to your reasons, while she searched out what to say. Yea, I intended unto you, and behold, there was none of you that convinced Job, or that answered his words, lest ye should say, we have found our wisdom. God trusteth him down, not man. Now he hath not directed his words against me, neither will I answer him with your speeches. They were amazed, they answered no more, they left off speaking when I had waited, for they spake not, but stood still and answered no more. I said, I will answer also my part, also will show my opinion, for I am full of matter, the spirit within me constraineth me. Behold, my belly is as wine, which hath no vent. It is ready to burst like new bottles. I will speak that I may be refreshed. I will open my lips and answer. Let me not, I pray you, accept any man's person, neither let me give flattering titles unto man, for I know not to give flattering titles in. So doing, my Maker would soon take me away. Wow. That was amazing. Job's been through a lot. So it's amazing how, through persecution and all that he went through, it was amazing. Yeah. So I hope this blessed you as it blessed me. And it's amazing. Reading the Bible is very just, it can soothe your soul. It is amazing. And y'all have a blessed day.